Did you know you were created to be naked? Bet you didn't know that. I'm Steve Grossman, and today we're going to unpack this and learn some biblical truths from this that we really need to embrace. So at the end of Genesis 2, there's this verse. Adam and his wife were both naked, and they felt no shame. Now, we've all heard this verse, and usually it's accompanied by, giggles and whatever in church. And there's a component of it that is that way, right? Especially since it was Adam and his wife, right? But there's so much more here that we need to get back to, and we need to fully understand. And so what I mean by that is this wasn't just about physical nakedness. It was about the expectation, so work with me here, that as humans, we had nothing to be worried about, nothing to fear, nothing to be ashamed of, because notice it says they felt no shame. And then, of course, in chapter 3, just a few short verses later, they suddenly feel shame and they make fig leaf outfits, which is kind of lame. And then they hide in the bushes, which is like another layer of lame. And now they're hiding. And God shows up and he says, "Where are you?" And he's not saying, "Which bush are you hiding behind?" He's saying, "Why are you hiding? Why aren't you here in front of me naked?" And by naked, I mean, ta-da! But it's the second part that I want you to embrace. It's not about, "Hey, look at me." It's about the human desire, the built-in created desire as humans that God put in us, that we would expect that when we show up anywhere fully us, that we're going to be embraced, we're going to be loved, we're even going to be, work with me here, we're going to be amazing. But here's what I mean by that. That when we show up going, ta-da, the people around us are going to say, "Wow, look at you. Look what God put in you. Look how he made you. What an awesome creator we have. And we know it because you exist." And not only that, but what else you got? What's in your mind? What are your ideas? What are you bringing to the discussion, to the moments that we're sharing together? Now, I am not over talking this. I'm not making a bigger deal out of this than it is. I'm barely scratching the surface of what this is about. Because again, in chapter 2, it talks about be fruitful and multiply and take the garden and spread it. Take all the raw materials of God and co-create with him and make the world glorious and a glorifying representation that points to God and also our abilities as those created by him and from him. And so we're supposed to have this we have this expectation that we're going to show up everywhere and not only be accepted, but be invited into every part of it and be able to bring our entire selves. Now, it would be right about here that we're all slowing down and we're realizing, oh man, that's not how it is it? No, we live in the fallen version of this. And what we do instead is go through life going, I don't fit in, I'm not good enough, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not this. But Christ died on the cross for this part also. That you would be able to be fully you, that you would try to figure out, work hard at figuring out what that is, working hard at believing what he tells you that is, and then actually doing and acting and building and constructing and whatever, producing based on that. Because, there's work to be done. There's a world to save, right? There's solutions to be found. And so one of the reasons that we often, or we all do, struggle with our identity is we're so busy hiding. And hiding makes us way harsher on ourselves than we were ever intended to be, and also makes us miss the wonderment of the actual ta-da and the thoroughness of that ta-da that we bring to any given situation. And we need to get back in touch with that. Now, obviously, I'm not talking about walking around naked, but I am talking about absolutely with the Lord, having an intimate relationship with him where there's ultimate transparency and authenticity, right? But then also with those close to us, if you're married, that should be the place where you're the most naked, no pun and no joke intended. But think about it. What we're able to do physically, we should be able to do holistically, relationally as a human. It should be the place that we have the least worries and the least walls up. And we need to work towards that together because it's hard and it's risky, but that's what we have offered there. But then also close friendships, right? But these are all so that then we can operate from this wholeness to serve the greater good, the community, the solution finding, all that good stuff, right? So this is a big part of our identity. It's a big part of what I always talk about in helping people to be authentic and transparent. Now I'm just focusing on a different word that we rarely use, which would be naked, right? And expect to be accepted because we're acceptable in and through our Creator. So I hope this helps. I hope you begin processing this in a way that begins to encourage you to be more free, more authentic, more believing in yourself from a place of encouragement and empowerment and design and purpose from a loving, loving God. Thanks.